Bonjour, je suis not manly, et ici le voyage d'espace je ne sais quoi. And finally we have part 23, where we're visiting Talos, the fifth and last moon of Lindor, just over 1,000 kilometers across, and a mass that's very, very close to the stock moon. So is the surface gravity. It has a 1,000-hour-long day. It is tidally locked with Lindor. It has a 1-degree inclination, again non-zero like all of the Lindor moons. Delta V to get out here from Krell is just under 1 kilometer per second. Capturing is just under 500 meters per second. Landing and ascending is very much, again, like the Je ne sais quoi moon. You can get out here. Any mooner craft should work out here. There are mooner surface features out here again, but of course with a much, much higher science multiplier. But just like the Je ne sais quoi moon, there are some hazards, there are some dangerous fissures at the poles, and there's some interesting terrain scatter that we will experience in just a bit. And in spite of that multiplier, there are only 5 biomes to get your science from. Now, before we can head out there, we need to send our first Boom Boom craft back to Kerbin, and I've been keeping this thing parked near one of the relay satellites so that I can eject this thing without losing signal. Like right now, I don't have the benefit of that antenna there. But once we get the ejection done, I can retract this Medusa sail and do some precision maneuvers. We're still close enough to that relay satellite that we can complete the maneuver and get close enough to Kerbin. And we'll fix things when we get there. And when we last left our heroes, Chris, Roberta Lynn, and Jenny-Ann McKerman, they were in orbit above Ryja, getting ready for an ejection out to Talos, which is in progress right now. Now, when I first plotted this, I ended up with a pretty wild inclination, and I decided, let's just make it a polar orbit. But then I saw the transit time of 36 days, and we don't have 36 days. So I adjust our course so we get there a little sooner, knocking off a considerable amount of time. Oh, pardon me, 30 days. But we get out there in 10 days less time than planned, and it was a good thing that we did. We get to enjoy this Ryja sunrise here. And here's our approach to Talos. Now, again, it was a good thing we got out here a little earlier, because as soon as we get into Talos' sphere of influence, we find an anomaly on the surface. Look at that. We get close enough, and then we'll try to map it there here using KerbNet. Okay, there we go. And you'll see the marking on the surface of Talos in just a bit. And you'll see it was a good thing that we came out here sooner, because we are still on the day side of Talos. We're still on a polar orbit though, so hey, we'll be able to fix our approach and land pretty much anywhere we wanted to here. We've got Delta V for weeks, we got no problem here. Here's our approach to low Talos orbit. Very, very much like the Je ne sais quoi moon as described. That was the South Pole back there that I waved my mouse pointer around. We can get nice and close. We're about 10 or 12 kilometers up here. And we'll stay that way for the entire mission. There we go. Do a little bit of adjusting. There we go. 10, 11, 12. 12 by 11. We'll take that. Now, the Talos rover is the same craft we've taken down to the surface of Krell, Aiden, and Minmus as part of a test. And we're sending down Roberta Lynn and Chris Kerman here, because we want the piloting experience for Chris there. We're no longer going to need engineering experience to bring this craft down to the surface safely. That service module there is going to take care of the majority of the descent, and it's also going to allow us to reposition our craft here, so that we land a little closer to the anomaly. Okay. And there we go. That will do just nicely. We'll be able to drive the rest of the way. Talos has very large lowland areas that make landing on the surface very, very easy. If you want to land taller craft, you'd have less of a problem here than, say, on DAC or on Edna, because we don't have the rotational speeds to worry about out here either. Okay, in a bit we'll use up the rest of the service module, and then we will use the landing engines on the Talos rover. Okay, I am trying to keep my vertical speed down a little bit. I don't want to fall too quickly, so I'm pointing up here a little bit. The orientation looks a little funny there, but that's okay. Once that stage runs out of fuel, we'll detach it. We'll control from the surface-mounted docking port on the top of the rover there. And there we go. But we're not controlling from that point. Get back there. Come on, Roberta, you got control of this thing. There we go. And there go the landing engines. We should be able to touch this thing down safely. You know, if I had the technology, I could have landed one of these things on the JNSQ moon without any issue. Could have gotten a little more science value out of the surface features there. But hey, that's okay. We'll be able to get them here from Talos. Already we can see some of the surface scatter, although as you'll see in a bit, I'm not sure if it counts as surface scatter? Oh boy, that's gonna take some extra investigating there. That does not look right at all. Here I was thinking about how normal this thing had been since the proper version of Copernicus Bleeding Edge got put on here, but looks like we still have some issues yet. Well, thank goodness for that. I was worried that this was gonna stay normal. Well then, control from the cockpit. Before we head out there, we're gonna go to one of the nearby surface features. We'll check out that, scatter in just a bit. First, we're right in driving range of one of the surface features. It's a Mooner Large Crater. I seem to have more success with this thing. There we go. With the scanner than we have before. There we go. 840 science for that one. Look at that. So far, so good. Now let's go check out that funny surface scatter. Yeah, we can see some of it's floating. It looked funny right here, but I think this might have just been a loading issue. Later on, after I planted the flag here, the flag ended up on the surface properly, and the boogie scatter was no longer present. But hey, it's silly to look at from here, might as well enjoy it. And as Roberta Lynn is going to demonstrate in just a bit, this scatter is very solid. Look at that. First she tries walking under it to make sure she can, and up she goes. Again, surface scatter are solid objects in JNSQ, but I wasn't quite expecting this. No matter, let's plant our flag on top of here. And there we go. The last flag for the Lindor mission. Talos Anti-Gravity. Ant-Gravity. Well, not quite, but hey, there we go. Anti-Gravity. Now, let's get you out of there before something dumb happens. On the way to the anomaly, we found... Oh, wait a minute. This is the anomaly. Oh, there we go. So first thing we're going to do is head straight to the anomaly there. It is one of the random monoliths, and once again, we don't get a science boost for this. Just like all of the non-stock worlds in JNSQ, but hey, that's okay. We find it for posterity's sake. Or if we haven't been to Moho before. There we go. We'll send up Chris to plant the flag on here for later research. There we go. The last flag for the Lindor mission. With Lindor in the distance. Anyway, we got some more exploring to do. We've got some moonstone right here, just like moonstone on the moon itself. And just like on the moon, we send up Roberta to go pick it up. It's going to be a very expensive paperweight though, but it does give us 620 science. We'll take that. And we have one more surface feature to scan on the way to the poles. We have got a small crater. Had a much easier time with the arm scanner here, and got 630 science from this one here. I don't believe they'll be sending golf courses all the way up to Lindor's moons anytime soon. There's the North Pole, and I'm not even going to bother driving there because, well, it's just like the one on the JNSQ moon. It's another mohole. Oh boy. But hey, we do get a good pass over it with Genian on the main mission craft. One more gorgeous shot of Lindor above Talos' mountains. Not bad at all. Up at the poles, we get our craft lined up with the main mission craft's orbit. We do one more collection of science on the surface. And then Roberta and Chris will be trading places. We're going to want Chris for maneuver hold. And there we go. We'll get Chris out there to grab the science from our experiment storage units. Otherwise, we would be leaving those behind. And there we go. Whoop, there we go. Get back on there, Chris. Come on, Chris. There we go. Yeah, we had some extra copies of things, but that's okay. And we're lined up and we are ready to take off. We'll do much the same thing that we did on Aiden and Krell. We'll go vertical takeoff and then horizontal acceleration for a bit. Then we'll detach the wheels and everything else because they're going to be dead weight at this point. Alrighty, here we go. And there we go. We got plenty of thrust to weight to finish the ascent to orbit on this craft. The Talos rover has served its purpose, visiting 4 worlds. Not bad at all. Remember, it was at Minmus during the original testing. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to clear this peak, but we do clear it. There we go. Even if it was a little close for our liking. It could have been much worse though. Some of those peaks are very tall and one of them eclipses the sun for a moment and comes back out. So yeah. See if we can't fix our inclination on the way up. There we go. We should be high enough now to avoid the worst of these mountains. Careful there, Chris. There we go. Okay, the rest of this is a matter of typical rendezvous maneuvering. Not too bad. I think we launched a little early though. But we're pretty low to the ground, so we can't exactly stick to a lower orbit, but we can climb to a higher one at least and let the main mission craft catch up to us. And that's what we end up doing. Okay, we'll just have to fix that over here. We'll fix it over at the ascending node, not a problem. There we go. Not too far away there from Jenny Ann back there. Look at this terrain. Just look at it. Isn't it gorgeous? There is Lindor in the background. Not bad at all. finally we get to rendezvous with the main mission craft. I just can't get enough of these gorgeous surface features. Alrighty, transferring the science out of there, and then we'll send the Talos rover to its final resting place. Good job there, rover. Come on back, Roberta, you guys have earned your pay on this mission. What do we pay Kerbals anyway? That's what I want to know. Here we go. And then we'll send the rover back. Bye-bye, rover. Now it's time to think about getting back to Kerbin. At this distance, we can pretty much pick and choose when we want to leave, and we can figure out a decent encounter with Kerbin, not a problem. We have to get to the bottom of Talos, though, before we can do this ejection properly. There we go. It has been a really long time for these guys. Bye-bye, Talos. And after a comparably short course correction, we can say goodbye to Lindor and its moons as well. Bye-bye, Lindor. Bye-bye, Talos. There we go. It took a good 6 years and 100 Kerbin days to get these guys back home as we watch the celestial dance of all of our bodies around the sun. And that is Kerbin just to the right there. Anyway, look at this insertion, 7.5 kilometers per second. Good thing we have the Delta V for this. After getting our orbit sorted out and going to a 100 kilometer equatorial orbit, we send the guys back down to the surface and we ditch the main mission craft. We leave old Boom Boom in orbit. Hopefully we'll make use of that for our missions out to Hammock and Elu coming up in future episodes. This descent you guys have seen before coming back from Jewel, so it's not too much of a problem. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, 6 years, 168 days to come back from Lindor. We're gonna have to find a better way to get these guys to and from places without having them age ridiculously. A transfer out to Nara would take 60 years, for instance, so we're gonna have to find a better way to get out there. In the meantime, let's bring these guys back home safe and let's check out the science. 86,000 science from Lindor. Not bad at all. You'll see my cunning plan to get to Hammock and Elu in a future episode. Until then, I'm not manly. Fly safe.